Good morning, traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis, Monday, the 11th of December. This will be our final one for the year. We'll resume again. I'll post it out, but roughly mid-January. We'll continue to do the chart of the day as long as we can, and then while we have a little break. All right, so let's kick off this morning, and let's start off with our Aussie US and dollar chart. And we can see that I've had that area highlighted there, and I was tracking this line of resistance because the market has previously bounced off that level. And as I zoom in, we can see, if I go back 5 candles, that was the candle that I highlighted last Monday, and I was looking for a reversal. Now, this red candle that immediately followed, it wasn't the perfect reversal signal. So look, in theory, we wouldn't have taken that one, but it did go down, and it does still have a lot of downside momentum. So I don't know how far it's going to go. What we could do, from where we currently are right now, there's a couple of options. If we are courageous, we can, if we ignore this level, although that level is quite clear, we could perhaps see that we are in an emerging new trend, but it's very early on. I would like the market to get beyond that level before I was looking at any buying opportunities on dips. So for really right now, what is interesting me the most is if I put a level here, and I'm more inclined to see if I can get a sneaky short off that level. Now, of course, if this continues to move down, well, then that changes everything. Well, then we will look for something down in this area to try and become a buyer again. All right. So for the time being, in the short term, so for the next 5 candles, 5 days, let's see if we can produce a level over here, and perhaps we may just go straight through that. If that happens, then we will start to look for buys in continuation of this emerging trend. Okay, so that's my views on the Aussie US dollar. Let's move along. Let's have a look at the Euro USD. All right. Just by looking at this particular one, just straight off the bat, the Euro USD looks like we're in no man's land at the moment. I am smack in the middle of this region here, which feels like congestion. I can see that I had my marker over there, thinking that perhaps the market may come to me so that I can do something, but that has not eventuated. So for the time being, I'm just going to delete that one out. And this week for the Euro USD, it's a matter of let's just sit and wait, let it develop a little bit more before we do anything. Look, let's just stick with that. I just thought I saw something, but no, let's just stick with that. Let's move along. Let's have a look at the US yen. US yen. Okay. So first of all, this one, when we zoomed out, we saw that there was a key level over here. And I think if I zoomed out even further, there was another one. Let me just remember. No, that there wasn't. Okay, so there's 2 key levels there, and perhaps the market might be coming down. However, last week, what I said was we are in quite a strong trend in this direction, and we were looking to perhaps buy in this direction. Okay, now I did get some emails about it, and people said, look, Cristian, you said, that we could become buyers in this market, but the market has gone down. Now, when I zoom in closer, I never actually got a buying signal. All right, remember, we're always looking for, not just because we're in the trend or we're not trying to just buy a pullback. When there is a pullback, we want to see evidence that perhaps the market is reversing. So meaning that the market's coming down into the pullback shows me evidence that it's reversing, so then we can become a buyer. Now, we never actually got any candle sequence throughout here that indicated that the market was reversing, so we never actually triggered into the market. Okay, so just remember that that's how our one extra safety, that we're looking to use price action as the last frontier, the last trigger into the market. So we never became buyers in this one, so we just sat on the sidelines. So now, because we had that big spike through the yen, which is this big candle over here. That kind of disrupts a lot of technicals, so I need to wait for the market to settle down again before we can take our next course of action. All right, so for now, we just sit and hold on the US yen, and let's see what the next couple of candles shows us before we make a plan of attack. All right, let's move along. Let's have a look at the GBP USD. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. I just want to see what I'm looking at. Okay, so on the top line, I had a point that was locked in, but I had not locked in my second point. We now see that the market has finally turned, so I can lock in that line. And now it's a very straightforward converging triangle, which I'm trying to trade here. In other words, the way they work is we're just trying to come in and they converge in. So the next logical point where I have an interest in a trade, it'll be in this area here. So if the market does come to this level, then from that level, I'm looking to see that the market shows me that it's reversing. So I'm looking for that price action reversal. So in other words, coming down, showing me the reversal, and then showing it to me at a key level, I might add, okay? Then that's the trade that I'm interested in, all right? So for now, I've marked in the hot zone, but there is no action. We just have to wait for the market to come to us. All right, oil. Okay, I can see that I've marked this area here, but the market has just turned a little bit. It hasn't reached me yet. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can see it a bit better. Okay, look, this one still stays valid. I'll keep that mark here. If the market does come towards me and then it shows me that it's wanting to reverse, well then I'm happy to become a buyer on this one. So my WTI oil remains the same as last week. We are still waiting for that market to reach us. All right, gold. Gold, we had that big spike through gold. Now, I did get asked some questions about this. Let me zoom out first so I can see a bit better. That's right. Gold has had this history at this level where it acted as resistance. Now, I'm going back to May 2020, so that's like nearly the best part of 3.5 years ago when that level happened there. It happened again in 2022, so over a year ago. And as we approached this level, the market had memory of these key areas, just like we saw it, so many other people saw it as well. Now, typically what happens with levels that so many people see, if you're trying to trade it, it is quite normal for people to just try and become a seller there, and they place their stops just over here. There's also a lot of algorithms as well that are trying to do the same things. So what happens, as soon as you do sell, and then if these stops start to trickle, okay, so if a stop gets hit, a stop when you're a seller is basically a buy signal, all right? So what happens is we get all these stops which are lined up over here, and they all get trickled through and they get triggered. So they're all buy signals, so it pushes the market up quite high, and then basically we come straight back down again. So it's very, very common. It happens especially when there's been a level that's acted as support or as resistance for a long period of time, and a lot of people have seen it. So this is what's happened with gold. We've trickled through and we've created that big spike, and then the markets come straight back down. All right. So normally we see it as, they call it the silly money or the dumb, inexperienced money, let's call it, as placing their stops there. And then all the big institutions just come in and go in the other direction and sweep it up. That's what's happened. We did get, in theory, this is a sell signal. It's a big engulfing candle over the blue one. So what we have to, so if we did take that trade, we're basically in the trade from there, and we're in the positive at the moment. So not sure, it might have scared some people off, but that's what's basically happened here. So in gold, we're still short, okay? Last one for the week, let's have a look at the ASX 200. Okay, from memory, let me just zoom in a little bit. From memory, I said, let's keep an eye over here and let's look for a big candle that crosses over with a lot of momentum, because we could be breaking the trend and moving in that direction. Did we get that? Well, not really. This was the best candle, that one there. So I guess if you count that one, then you would become a buyer around about that level, and you're in the positive at the moment. But it wasn't your typical straightforward bullish candle which broke the trend and then basically signaled everything in the other direction. All right, so that's what's happened there. So now, let me zoom out again. Moving forward, I can get rid of this line now because it's no good to me. And the next level that I want to mark out is in here somewhere. Okay, and so if we get towards these levels here, I'm interested to have a look. Let me just get rid of this. Put a different kind of line on it. Okay. In the meantime, if the market does rise to that level, then if we do get a pullback and we get evidence of price action, well, then we would be entitled to try and trade it up there from any pullbacks where we are seeing clear signals of price action reversal. Okay, so there you have it. That is the week. What I can see on my charts for this week. Guys, I won't talk to you again in the weekly analysis until the new year. I'll put out the dates. It'll be around about the 14th or the 12th, whatever that week falls on. So have a great Christmas. Take time over the period just to revise your strategies, look through your trading plans, and kind of reset. And let's kick off 2024 with a bang. Have a great week. Have a great Christmas, and I'll speak to you next year. Bye for now.